There's nothing like being in the green room, which you knew I was going to say, by the way. And today I get to talk to the one and only Dr. Barbara Young. Now, Dr. Barbara Young, your bio gotta be the bio because so much experience that I've had. And you're right, I would be here all day long if I read this bio. So do me a favor, for myself and those eavesdroppers who are behind the scenes, take a moment, if you will, and tell us who is Dr. Barbara Young, but more importantly, what are you up to these days?
All right. Well, I'm a passionate, high energy woman of God and an international media mogul via my multimedia online radio, television platforms, and two affiliate digital global magazines. I am hosting a syndicated talk show, Transformation for Success. I'm so excited because I get an opportunity to use what I call OPV, other people's voices, to help transform lives of individuals around the globe. I am a transformation success expert. I'm an author. I'm an innovator and a visionary who loves to inspire, motivate, more importantly, move people to action, to transform their lives personally, professionally, and spiritually. I have a number of people on my show from all walks of life who share their stories of challenges and pain about what they overcame. But more importantly, the success strategies that they share with my audiences in all these 122 countries. And I really have to just thank God that we are making a difference. China, sweet turkey. It's amazing that the listeners are really tuning in to what we're doing in transforming lives. So, what I'm about is actually to help people around the globe be transformed by listening to other people's stories. And they want to know your story, Shay.
Mhm.
And I want to thank you for the opportunity to be on your show. You are wonderful. So thank you, Shay Brown, for inviting me and having me on the show today to share a little bit of Dr. B.
You know, Thanks a lot, Dr. B. Dr. Barbara Young, formerly known as Dr. B. Take a moment, if you will. I know these are very challenging times. You've been
Yes.
on this planet, you told me, for a number of years on this planet, I'll say that. And so much is taking place. We're talking about transformation, transforming to success. But take a moment and tell me, what's the conversation you've been having with your colleagues around COVID-19? You've spoken on stages. That has now changed. People's whole careers have been turned upside down. What conversation and what are you doing your folks around how to transform during COVID-19?
Well, the conversation is, of course, that we're in challenging times. But this is an opportunity. And I have been sharing with all the people that I can that this is the most marvelous thing that ever happened to us. That this is a time for growth, renewal, and really digging in to what is my purpose? What can I do? Because this is that moment. This is your moment. This is your time. So I've been sharing with people that this is not an opportunity to take on doom and gloom and FEAR, which is false evidence appearing real, which we hear that all the time. But basically, this is a moment to dig deep. And for some people, and I truly believe this, we're coming out of this. I shared people with steps that they can do in terms of how do you renew yourself spiritually? How do you renew yourself personally? How do you renew yourself professionally? Because there are new opportunities if you begin to think deeply of what can I do to salvage and to help transform people's lives, to make life better for them. And Shay, people are ideas every day. And I think about a woman who thought about handicapped children and made gowns that would support handicapped children. She actually, because there were no kind of sleepwear for youngsters who might be missing limbs or who might have, challenges, or their parents having challenges trying to dress them. There are all kinds of creative things that can be done because we are not going back to where we were. We are going forward. And so the movement, in my mind, is to how do we regroup with my tribe.
Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. I love that. Passages of time. I didn't like that phrase when my doctor told me I was going through my first rites of passage, by the way, when I hit the 50 number, by the way. I was like, oh my gosh. He said, but if God is good to you, you have another 3 to 4, not 5 more rites of passages. So I'm looking forward to it. So thanks for bringing that up. For those folks that are tuning in, we'll listen to the one and only Dr. Young. She's on here right now. She's smiling, she's kicking, she's ready to do what she does best, which is change some lives. So we're going to get started. Doctor, we got to do my favorite thing. My favorite thing is to kick off. But for Eric Heilig that's watching, hey, how you doing? Thanks so much. You're going to love. You got to have her on your show. They have a show called Marriage Can Win. Got to have her on it. You just thanks for joining. Laura, thanks for joining, by the way. We appreciate it. Chris Perry is on here. Brenda Scott's on here right now. Thanks a lot for joining. Calvin's on the show. I got to get going. We come back. We're kicking off with the one and only Dr. Barbara Young. And yes, we're going to be talking about transformation to success. We'll be back in a few minutes. Let's get going. I can't wait. We're going to change. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Yeah. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic. Yes. Yeah.
It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources necessary to execute that huge vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And I like to talk about 3 visions that you have, by the way. I believe first, you have a vision for yourself, the clothes you want to wear, the organic food that you want to eat, the things that you want to do. And it takes resources. That means it takes revenue. And for some of you out there right now, you have also vision number 2. You have a vision for the people you were called to serve. And I'm blessed right now because Mother Dear is still on this planet. I'm able to spend some time with her. I'm also able to spend time with my 2 grown adult sons. And so it's a blessing. But you know what? There was a time I wanted to send them to a school of their choice when they went to college. You know what that took? Resources. That means it took revenue. I love to be able to help take care of and support the causes I believe in. Maybe that's you. You want to take care of someone's healthcare insurance. You want to give someone a loan to help them during these very challenging times. And so it takes resources. That means it takes revenue. And then the last vision I believe you have is a vision for the people you were called to serve. Maybe that's why you showed up. You ain't show up tonight for yourself, but you have a vision that's been given to you by God. And I happen to be a believer. You don't have to be one, as I always say, but I happen to be one. And imagine that you're Moses, my favorite example, by the way. You're Moses. You've got this vision. and you show up and you're ready to go, and there's a knock at the door. Before you get started, they say, Moses, excuse me, Moses, pardon me just 1 minute. There's no hammers in the house. You're like, okay, Moses, cool. Moses ain't no hammers. I'm okay with that. Excuse me, Moses, wait a minute. Moses, pardon me, sorry to bother you again, but there are no nails. No hammer, no nails. Rule number one, we never panic. Gee, Moniz, what do they want now? What do you think they want? Sorry, Moses, sorry to bother you, but there's no people to put the boat together, and there's no wood. Good luck on this mission. And maybe that's you right now. You've got the right experience, you got the right expertise, but you just gotta transform. And you need resources. And that's where Dr. Barbara Young is here today to give you the resources you need to execute that vision you have for the people you would call to serve. So Dr. Barbara Young, better known as Dr. B, how are you doing, my good friend? Well, thank you. I appreciate you being here. And special shout out to Eric Swanson with the Habitude Conference, man, a Habitude Warrior, for connecting us together. Eric Swanson is amazing. He's incredible and has a heart to give and a heart to serve. But for those folks that are out there, they're watching right now, like Kevin Brooks is out there right now. Darlene's watching. Darlene, what's going on? Sharonda Greenlee, you're gonna love Dr. Barbara Young. She's amazing. Y'all got to connect as well. They're wondering. You picked transform. Why did you pick transformation? Yeah. Why did you pick this topic? Why is this important to you? But tell us, please share the story. Mhm.
That it would be preparation and pain in order to make that difference. But I ended up, long story short, I ended up at 36 years of age. I started a BA degree when I was 15 at the University of Berkeley. I stopped out at 17, pregnant, got married. I was very disappointed in myself. And for the next few years, in 19, I knew I wanted to make a difference. I had 2 children and a husband that decided he did not want to be married any longer. So he walked out, left me with 450-cent pieces, 2 children. So at that age, I decided I wanted to make a difference, but I didn't know how. Here I am with 2 children. Well, I want to segue to tell you that one, I had to learn and have faith and belief in me that I could overcome any obstacles, that I could make my way in life with 2 small children who were 19 months apart. And I worked very, very hard to earn a living and support 2 children for 6, 7 years. By the time they were 6 and 7, I was working at UC Berkeley. I was doing great work, working in engineering, aeronautical sciences, and I just was having a great time. And I ended up getting married again. Long story short, I circumvented my purpose that I had wanted at age 19 and sublimated my desires to marry a second husband that had a very good living. And so I sort of put my dreams on hold. And for 11 years, it was miserable. I wanted to go back to school to finish my degree. He did not want me to go back to school. And I hope somebody out there is listening that sometimes the dreams that you have are only deferred dreams. Keep the dream alive. I kept that dream within me. All I wanted to be was not an incomplete. I felt like I was an incomplete. The girl went off to college at 19, here she is, now 25, 26. I'm getting old. I get out of the marriage, I'm 36. I still want to get that. I go back to school to finish a bachelor's degree. I did it 2 years and then a master's, and I went to school. 7 supported 2 children, now 3 children. I had a 5-year-old special needs child. I'm trying to condense to tell you how I have, with the help of God, who I had a conversation with when I was 36, and realizing my dream was only deferred. I could get that BA. I had no idea. Long story short, and speak in churches, in community centers, nonprofit organizations. So I called myself a motivational speaker. So Shay, many of us, we were back in the day motivational speakers. So I went from motivational speaker, and the Lord spoke to me and said, "You're not motivated," because people would get goosebumps, leave, and then they'd have to come back for more. Because motivating, they're just getting goosebumps. They're getting excited because Dr. Young's got them all worked out. My sister was changing lives because I'm now working with companies, and they say, "Come back and rev up the employees again." I'd be there, and 3 months later, they'd say, "You need to come back again." So then I heard the message: you're a life empowerment speaker. You're speaking life to them. I started speaking life, and I studied everything I could about leadership. I studied everything about empowering people. I was on a mission, and life empowerment it was. Then all of a sudden, I got, no, not life empowerment. They need to transform people's lives. They need to have a new mindset, how to change their lives with strategies that work. Transformation for success. That I like that to the continent of Africa. That's another long story, Shay, that I'll talk about. But I took transformation process for leaders and longer in Africa from 2003 to 2015. Transformation. So it evolved from motivation, life empowerment, transformation for success. And I began to teach tools how to live inside out, because it has to come from the inside to make those changes. So I was able to provide people with steps. How can you change the inner? That's the question.
You talk about how can you change the inner and providing steps. Do you mind taking a moment and breaking that down for us? There's someone out there right now that might be struggling with transformation. Giving them steps now makes a huge difference for them for where they are. Please share with us.
Step one.
What are the steps that
You have
folks
to know
need to do?
who you are. You hear this and you'll say, I've heard it many times over. You need to know who you are, but you also need to know who you're not. You've got to rewrite the script. I didn't have what I thought was a perfect script, but I made up my mind that I could rewrite the story. I could rewrite the script by becoming this person of knowing who I was, learning how God saw me as this beautiful created creature who had a purpose and a plan for my life. So I looked in the mirror. So I give people exercises. I don't just say you need to know who you are. I'll tell you an exercise. I looked in the mirror for 9 days, looking in the mirror at me and talking to the image in the mirror, disclaiming and making affirmations about I am a great person. I am lovely. I am lovable. I was born for a purpose. Yes, because you learn to become your own best cheerleader. You need to know who you are, but you also need to know who you're not. The other thing I learned was you stay in your own lane. What you've been given, you don't have to look over in somebody else's box and try to be like them. You need to be yourself, love yourself, be kind to yourself, be gentle on you, because you are perfect. You are made in the image of God, and He created you to look exactly like you look, and He's given you talent, skills, and abilities just for you. So that was the first thing, having to see myself as I was, having to change my vision of myself, and I did it with a mirror exercise. So if anybody wants to try that, you can. Look at yourself in the mirror every day. And then I began to really work with some of the women I was working with at the time to give them flashcards to put on the refrigerator, to put on the mirror, to put on the dashboard of their cars, the affirming statements of who you are. Because other people will try to tell you, or all the old script of what you're not. You need to write a new script. So I learned, is that step one?
Step one. Now tell us what step one is one more time. Just the
You
name.
need to know who you are.
Okay, so step number one, if you're out there right now, I want you to look right below the video, and put step number one, know who you are. Now, for those folks that are watching right now, you also have permission to pay this message forward. You might be listening right now saying, you know what? I need to transform my life, but I also know someone else is going through something right now. Or I know someone else that's ready to transform their life. Or I know someone that's been talking about transforming their life. How can you help them? We believe in the giver's economy. The person that outgives the competition, out earns the competition. So you can hit the share button, hit the share button, hit the watch party button right now. And when you write that, you see that little box pop up? Write those words, transform your life. Hashtag Dr. Barbara Young. Just put transform your life, hashtag Dr. Barbara Young. She right now is breaking down exactly some step-by-steps you need to do. So hit the share button, hit the watch party button, pay this message forward. Be a blessing to someone else out there right now. Because someone right now, this is their Tylenol to their headache. This is the medicine they need. All right, Dr. Young, thanks a lot. You gave us number one. Go ahead and move on to number two.
I kind of want to add an addendum to that.
Sure.
Because I think I like to always explain to people that affirmations are important. You're making positive statements about yourself, your goals. And affirmation is a statement of belief. Without it, the subconscious is free to be programmed others and what to believe. Subconscious brain that believes whatever happens to it is poured into it. So if it hears negative comments, then it begins to think negatively. And there's old script that runs around our heads of old script. And at times when you least suspect it, that shoots right back into your mind. So if you were told you were withdrawn, you're insecure, you'll never be any good, you're like your Aunt Bessie, blah, 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 and it leaves you helpless. And it believes that, and you act accordingly. That's why understanding affirmation is so important. It is positive about yourself. You believe. You must believe that you are perfect. You must believe that you are beautiful. You must believe that you are lovable. I don't know who I'm talking to out there, but people have doubt and fear and all these things. And right now, we've got a pandemic going on, and a lot of people are saying things, probably, watching your mouth. Watch what you say. Affirmations are your belief systems about yourself.
Love it. Very, very powerful. Okay, we're moving on to number two now. She gave us an addendum now. She's breaking it down in the way that I didn't think she was, but this right here, Dr. Barbara Young will change your life if you let her. Go ahead and give us number two, please.
This was a realization for me, and I'm speaking from my heart because these are things that apply to me personally that I'm sharing with you. You are where you are because you want to be. If you want to be somewhere else, you'll change. That's the truth. And sometimes look and see it for what it is. I will use a personal example. I withstood marriage for 11 years. Why? Because I didn't want to change. If you want to be someplace else, you'll change. And overnight, I made a decision that changed my life and reshaped my destiny and my future.
Now, what do you say to the person that's listening?
You're where you are because you want to be there. Because if you want to be someplace different, you will change. Because it becomes miserable. And some people are miserable. They stay in this miserable existence. Or I'm not making money as an entrepreneur in this, and I don't want to try something different. I want to keep doing the same old thing. You get the same old results because you want to be there. You want to make changes. And right now, we're going to have to make some changes because you're not going back to the old way, the old system of doing things. And so I admonish you to put on that cap of change someplace else. You'll make that. Yeah, you will.
I love it. Take a look in the mirror, the man in the mirror, and make that change. I think it was Michael Jackson that said that. I love what you're saying right now. You're right there. I'm smelling what you're cooking in the kitchen over here. And for the person that says, yeah, I want to make the change, but they're afraid of what people are going to say about them. They're afraid that if it doesn't turn out the way they want it to turn out, there's someone to be snickering and laughing. And so they're looking at their friends and they're thinking, well, I don't want to change too much because people are saying that's not who I am and I don't really deserve that. I mean, that might have been what you were going to talk about, but what do you say to the person's like thinking, God, do I really deserve to be that person? Can I leave this relationship? Can I start my business? Like, they got that fear right now. What do you say to that person?
One of the things is that overcoming fear is by doing it and by writing it down. One of the things I find is that when I did my seminars, I had people write down a vision and a goal. But most importantly, if you want to make a change, you want to be. So I'd ask the question, where are you now and where would you like to be? How do you make the distance narrow to get there? What are the steps you need to take to get there? It takes work. This is not rocket science that I'm telling you, but it does take work. Mm-hmm. You have to do the work. Mm-hmm. And fear has no part in it. It is only false evidence appearing real. And you know what? I think it was Napoleon Hill that said, confront your fears. Mm-hmm. And make them go away. You confront them. The very thing that you fear, confront. Make those steps, and you can. But you need to get pen and paper because it really does work. Really does.
Okay, I love it.
Every seminar that I made for 12 years, I had women power brokers. And first I started life growth and seminars for women because I was on a college campus for 14 years. And if I didn't have one student, I had many of them ask me what a seminar that they could come and they would actually pay because I was teaching classes about administrative leadership and behavior, and teaching ecological dimensions of leadership, but I would give them tips about how to live your life. Because by then, I was in my almost 50-something, 51, 52. I had lived, quite a few years and experienced things. So I would share with them just little tidbits, such as you're going to get your degree, you're here at night, but what do? You bring your textbooks and lay them out at work where everybody can see. And why are you doing that? So that you can cause the supervisor and you get reprimanded for that. Go in your car. I tell little simple things like that. Go in your car. Don't take books and put them in the car. And you don't need to tell people what you're doing. Sometimes it's best to be silent about what your goals are. So these were simple things that led me, after so many students signed a petition for me to teach a seminar, that I started teaching life growth seminars. And just some simplistic things that most people don't think about. They're simple.
Just very, very simple things. And I know that you're known as the go-to influencer, which I think is one of you recently wrote a book, and I'm looking at it right here, but you're known as the go-to influencer. As you talk about transforming your life, why do folks come to you? Why are you known as the go-to influencer? Give us the narrative. Give us the backstory on that one.
Well, it's a great backstory, and I'm glad you asked. I was invited to go on a professional networking cruise that came out of New York by Dr. T at that time, who has passed on. And my best friend invited me on this cruise, and I said, I don't want to go on a cruise. I hate cruises. Well, she drugged me, really, literally, to go on this cruise. And it was a lot of high-profile people on the cruise, and I don't want to drop a lot of names. There were a lot of famous people on that cruise, all African-American professionals, because that's what it was called, NPN cruises. Some of you out there may have heard of them over the years. On that ship was a young woman from Kenya. And I would see her, she'd see me, and she always said, oh, Dr. Young, you look so beautiful. And I said, you look beautiful too. Everybody else in the party, most of them, would sort of ignore her. She was traveling by herself, and she would be in costume or in her native garb, and she was beautiful. And so each of us had to share who we were on the cruise in the salon and say, what do you do? Well, I got up and said, I'm a motivational speaker. I had just re-careered, and I had cards printed up, motivational speaker. So I'm putting it out in the universe. Say what you are, mean what you are, and believe it, and that's what I became. Well, this young woman later came to me and asked me, would I come to Kenya to talk to young women in Kenya about leadership and motivate them? She would love to have me come. Well, I thought that, this one is a little, come to Kenya. Well, I said, sure. And, but 3 months later, she invited me. Well, I could not go at the time because I was teaching classes at this university at night, and it was almost time to end the semester. Long story short, she actually sent for me, said, we have a ticket for you. We have people that are going to be here to hear you speak, and we're all excited. And they sent a magazine to interview me. Goodness. So I wrote when I couldn't believe it. I was plastered all over the city. American motivational speaker comes to Kenya. And I'm like, oh my God. And so not only that, but it was not women. And I had them for 2.5 days. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm doing a 3-day retreat. Who showed up on Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock for high tea? Well, we were in a very nice resort, a circular driveway, and I saw all these cars coming in with the flags on them, and they're dignitaries in the hotel, in the resort. And so they're coming, they're probably having something here at this posh hotel. Lo and behold, they were my audiences. Oh my God. Members of the Kenyan Parliament and leaders, Fortune 500, 400 CEOs, actually Fortune 500 CEOs, 35, 2 women in the group only, but 6 members from the Kenyan president's cabinet. I freaked out. I went to the bathroom and cried. And I remember tears coming to my eyes, and I said, I am not qualified. What do I know about leadership that I can share with these individuals? And I heard this voice completely say to me, just as clear, it's not about you, it's me. And I had 2.5 days with these leaders using exercises about living from the inside out as a leader. What happened is it sparked me to the continent of Africa, working with world leaders in 7 different countries from 2003 to 2015. Not only that, I started Divas dinners with many of the wives of some of the leaders who had come to my first retreat, calling Divas dinners, divinely inspired, victorious with authority. So I've set a footprint on the continent of Africa, even Senegal, which is 99% Muslim, invited there by the president, the ambassador of that country, to kick off USA Week. I've had experiences that are incredible, all because I've been blessed by God to have this remarkable career to share with people how you live from the inside out. What did these world leaders say? And CEOs, they were on television, they were on camera, and they said they experienced a leadership seminar retreat where they learned about themselves and how to live from the inside out and execute leadership. Second year I went back, I did something called servant leadership, which they'd never heard of in Kenya. So I answered that question. I kind of went off a little bit.
You answered. Look, one of the things I like about you is that we can have a personal conversation. For those folks out there, by the way, you're listening to the one and only Dr. Barbara Young, who's just truly amazing. She really is incredible. She would love to call her a lot of things, but at the end of the day, she's someone that has a heart to give and a heart to serve. Do me a favor. Here's how we give her a digital applause. I'm going to ask her to do something that she knows she's going to do. I'm going to ask her to take a look into her book. And she has a book called Recipes for Personal Success. Recipes for Personal Best Success. And I'm going to ask her if she'll share maybe one of the recipes out of that personal best book, or something that she can share with you that can help you out there. And she's figuring that out right now, because I just thought I'd bring it up. We're going to talk about transformation, but there is no way I cannot dig into her brain and have her release, like, what's her number one secret to success? Like, if we could sit here and we was in front of Dr. Barbara Young, ask what's your number one secret to success, whether it's in the book or not, what is it? But first, before we do that, I want you to hit the share button. I want you to hit the watch party button. I want you to pay this message forward. Dr. Barbara Young didn't ask for a Cash App payment before we got started. She didn't ask for a credit card before we got started. She said, I'm here to serve. So hit the share button, hit the watch party button, and when you do that, go ahead and put transform your life, hashtag Dr. Barbara Young. And you're going to bless another little boy, another little girl, another big woman, another big guy that's out there right now, another entrepreneur is like, you know what? This is the message that I need, because I'm ready to step into my personal best. So I'm asking the question now, what is her number one secret for success? So that's the question, Dr. Barbara Young. What's your number one secret for success?
Ego strength. Everything going on. It's vital. And I think it's one of the first assets that a leader must have, is that centered ego, having the confidence and the ability to overcome challenges. Challenges are not meant to defeat us. They're meant to overcome. You must know your strengths, and there's nothing arrogant about knowing your strengths and displaying them. The second secret of success is energy. Energy is the fuel that you need for success. I'm often told by people I have so much energy. Come from. I think you have to fill your tank with good spiritual food, prayer, plenty of exercise, and on occasion get a massage and some downtime. Really, you need that energy to keep going. That is vital for success, because you know what? If you don't have the energy, then you won't be able to do and dream the dreams and put the extra fuels needed to come alive. It takes energy,
It takes
ego
energy.
strength, and energy.
Man, I love it. I love it, man. You're sharing it. You know, one of the core mantras we have here at the Happy Entrepreneur Show is that today is my January 1st. And for those folks that are watching right now, you can look right below the video. You can write those words. Today is my January 1st. And today is my January 1st for those folks that are hearing it and saying, Shay, what in the LL Cool J are you talking about? Today is my January 1st represents one of those moments throughout the day. You're not waiting for the calendar year. Today is my January 1st. One of the moments you get to make a decision, and that decision could forever change the trajectory of your life. So you make a decision, you're going to work out, or you're going to sit on the couch and you're going to binge watch and watch Netflix. You make a decision, you're going to eat hamburgers and french fries, a little salt and pepper or ketchup. Some of you, that's what y'all have. Or you go to your refrigerator, you're going to have some carrots and some broccoli and some kale. It's a do-over. It's a fresh start. My dad used to say, the future is spotless. Just move forward. So my question to you, Dr. Barbara Young, when you hear those words, for those folks that are writing today is my January 1st, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what does it mean to you? What do you hear?
I hear it's a new beginning. One of the things I talked about recently was what happened in 2019 will never happen again. But in 2020, January 1st, you've got a new beginning. You can rewrite the script. You're the producer, you're the director, you're the sound director, you're the lighting director of your life. You get a chance to live your life starting from day one. Whose lives are you going to transform? What family members are you going to say, I love you, and get that guilt, get that fear away? It's time for a fresh start and a new beginning. That's what January 1st means to me.
You know, you've had so many January 1st moments in your life. You shared a few stories earlier. What was the January 1st moment that you decided, you know what, I'm going to be a speaker. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to plant my flag. I'm going to draw a line in the sand. I'm going to do this doggone thing. What was one of your January 1st moments?
My January 1st moment was, I can't believe this is happening. I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I don't. And I had a $5,000 contract by a Hughes aircraft company, $1,000 contract to come and speak. And I was already at 6 figures at doing what I was doing as a higher education administrator. So thinking, and my girlfriend calls me, she says, Barbara, you cannot take $5,000 from a company and you don't have a business. I don't have a business? She said, no, these are private companies and they're well-known companies. And I said, oh, she said, you got to get a company. All you need is a DBA. I said, what's DBA? Doing business as, doing business as. And I said, okay. So I had to go out, get a DBA, and I couldn't think of some sexy, provocative name. So my last name was Young. So I said, Young Enterprises. Just like that, I was an entrepreneur. And then it started to grow. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm an entrepreneur. That's where I thought. From administrator, professor, speaker, now I am an entrepreneur. And I had to say, boy, learning curve. I started reading books, Napoleon Hill's book, Rich Man, Poor Dad. I started reading everything I could about how to be successful and build a career as an entrepreneur. It's a lot of hard work, and it takes 3 to 5 years to become successful. You already know that. Yeah. And many people out there. Now, regrouping, it's relearning. What I'm saying is, too many people don't realize, and I'm 6, I don't mind. I'm 82 years young. So for me, having to regroup at age 62 and start a business, entrepreneur, I'm supposed to be sliding into retirement at 65. I'm gearing up. 72, I was in Senegal kicking off every week. Entrepreneur. Enough said, I was drug into it, but I learned it's hard work. One of the things that I will share that in preparation and practice. Many years I have taught HR resource management at the undergraduate and graduate level. So I knew how human resources operated. I also taught leadership and effective leadership and ineffective leadership. I talked about leaders and vision, and I became an almost quasi on leadership as I studied it. I could get on reading and writing about leadership. So this. And then I realized when I was an administrator in a university setting, what was I doing? I was actually being an administrator, and I had 22 campuses and a $60 million budget that I was in. So I actually had some of the training, and a lot of times I think we don't realize the experiences that we bring to a position. We've already been prepared. Somebody, Shay, on your show, talk about your pain, because through your pain, there's preparation and practice for the job that you're going to assume, the purpose that you're going to step into.
Yeah, that's so true, man. Thanks a lot for sharing. And, you know, there's out there like Cheryl Graham, who's out there right now. She's writing today is my January 1st. There's folks out there like Nancy Alert that's writing today is my January 1st. Kenna's writing today is my January 1st. Excited, not just them, but so many when they hear today, my January 1st, just like they were back on December 31st. After a few drinks on the back of a cocktail napkin, they were writing down their goals. And for some, it turned out just fine. And for others, well, they've been off track. My question to you before is around a truism, and sometimes there's truth in truisms, that consistency is the key, consistency is the key, consistency is the key. Having said that, what do people struggle with most? They struggle with consistency. My hand is raised. So my question is, how do you suggest that folks be consistent and hashtag stay the course?
Rituals. Remember I talked about
Yeah.
rituals, rituals, and rules. We stick with you and guidelines for you and adhere to them. That causes consistency. And you take it a day at a time. You mark out exactly the ritual, and I shared that with you earlier of what I do every day. I work out of home like many of us do, but I come to work at 8 o'clock dressed. I've already had my conversations with my father, I up, do my hair. My kids can even attest to this. They come here, Mom, and I'm in high heels. Rituals and routine. There needs to be rituals in place and routine in place. I think that's what many people are struggling with now, or learning to grapple with being at home, having structure for the children, structure for the family, structure for the meals. It's rituals and structure that's going to get us consistency.
Love it.
That's my viewpoint.
Hey, that's your view of the world, and you're sticking with it, as they say, and I'm so glad you are.
My message, and I'm sticking with it. To stay on track. Now, can I say this too? You fall off track, or I just lay out in the sun today, in the backyard. That's okay. But go back to your routine. I had 5 days, I kind of cooled out because I needed it. I do a lot of work. I'm excited about what I do. I work from lunch. I'm out of here at 6. This is where I all the time. But I love what I do. Ritual, routine.
The folks out there thinking now, for those folks out there, hit the share button. Hit the watch party button. Pay this message forward. Someone out there needs to transform their marriage. Someone needs to transform their finances. Someone needs to transform business. Someone needs to transform their health right now. And this message you put forward not only gets them started, but keeps them on track. So how do you do that? Hit the share button right now. Hit the watch button right now. Some of you already hit it and you wrote those words, transform your life, hashtag Barbara Young. If you're watching right now and you already did that, take the link and you can copy and put it on Facebook, put it onto Twitter, put it on the LinkedIn. If you're watching a long video, take the link and pay it forward to someone else. Bless someone else. We want to pay and add value to as many lives as possible. Young folks want to know how can they best connect you? You have your own show. You speak on stage. We get back at right. You speak virtually like you are right now. You're available for podcasts. You're available for shows. And you work with clients. So they want to know how can they best connect with you. Go ahead and share how they can do that piece.
my website, www.drbarbara.com, and you can reach me. Also, I started a new television show, God's Hookups, and I'm at drb@godshookups.com. This is a new show I believe is going to be successful. It's something off the plane where people are actually able to come on the show and share their incredible experiences that defy human explanation. A miracle or connection, which is definitely attributed to a God's hookup. You go to my website, www.dryoung.com, and you can read all about it. Read all about it and connect with me. I'll be happy to get back to you.
Thank you so much. And we're suggest you all connect with Dr. Barbara Young. Go to her website, drbarbarayoung.com. Is that what you said? drbarbarayoung.com.
dryoung.com.
Yeah,
Simple.
hit on over there right now. Do it now. Do it when now. What time is it? Now o'clock time. So do it now. It's now o'clock time. Folks will listen to you and say, "Man, Shay, she's perfect. She's creating beauty contests. She's got so many awards. She's got these letters behind her name. She's written books. She has a show." Do you mind taking a moment, maybe sharing a time where you had to do something and it didn't work the way you wanted to do? And how did you ask? How were you able to have a setback, and what principle did you use to have a comeback? And for those folks out there listening, maybe Dr. Young has one. She says she's 82 years old. Maybe things have been perfect for her. But let's stop and ask her the question. So Dr.
No,
Barbara Young, tell us about a setback you had and how did you come back?
Nobody thinks that. But I've had many setbacks, many obstacles where it did not work out. But I felt it will come back. So my resilience came back in God truly. I was it did not work. I had to get myself not take on or guilt the fact that it didn't work, but what can I do to make it or to make it better? Was it something that could be reconstructed, or what did I need to do? So many things did not come out the way I wanted to. Because if everything you imagine is real, you can start that creation process by dreaming it. Start dreaming it and picking myself up, crying a little bit, call a few friends. Sometimes that's not the best thing to do, call a few friends. But anyway, I called God and said, I'm going to get through this. The setbacks are really set up for comeback before. Everybody, somebody out there.
You've had so many mentors along this journey of life. You really have. But if you had to share one idea, a idea that was given to you by a mentor that you pass along to us. I know there's so many going through your head right now. But what is one lesson, what is the principle you from one of your mentors that you can share with us that can help us along this journey of life?
I had a few mentors. They've been especially precious. One of them, and I kind of keep it in front of me, because he said, if Barbara, in this world, everything, if you imagine is real, and you start that process by doing it. I said that, and he said, but why you dream big? Oh my God, because I was, these small dreams, and if you don't know, if your dream's not big enough to take this question, is your dream big enough to liberate the world in some way of limiting condition? Wow. Keep this front and center. It's always in your. And I remember telling God, I wanted to do 10 million before I left the face of this earth. And at $10 million to be able to do it, why 10 million? Why not 100 million? Dream big. It's big enough to liberate the world some way. I do it. I believe in it now. I do it. By bringing people, others who have much to say than I do, who have here. All it does agree. It's such satisfaction that you have to do 7 hours more or 30 hours travel around the world in my studio to reach an audience that are listening to people like you and others who share their story. And that, for me, is helping to liberate people in the world. Everybody is focusing on what we're doing. You guys have no idea how many eyes and ears they're all tuned to what we're doing here in the United States. And I'm sure many of you may know that. One of the things he also told me and the way you look at things. Now it's time to change our perceptions and look at things. Look at the world in a new, not as you said, change the perspective and see something positive, that something good can come out of this. Even with the social unrest, all of the things going on, it will not last. It will not last. Right. Keep your perspective positive and positive mind. Those are some of my tidbits.
Well, I just changed my perspective altogether. I mean, 82 years old, as you mentioned to it several times in this call right here. When I reached out to you by way of Eric Swanson, asked if you would join and be a part of it. And I said, well, it's 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's what I wrote back. You didn't link and hesitate. Say, oh my gosh, 11:30. He said, no problem. I'll be right there. And it was an honor and a privilege, a treat and a treasure to sit on the other side and be here. I know you're used to being on the other side of the camera. You did.
Shay, I'll get you back.
But you are amazing. Tell us once again, how can they connect you one more time?
BarbaraYoung.com. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you.
For those out there like Tony Moore, one of the baddest trademark attorneys out there watching right now. Christy is out there is watching. I knew she said in the spirit she was going to be right there in front of the camera out there. And so many of the folks out there right now that are watching and tuning in. You listen to the one and only Dr. Barbara Young. I asked her before we got started if she would share her final thoughts with the audience to empower, to inspire, to lift you. And she said, yeah. I mean, some people say no, not because they don't want to. It's because their time they just done it for them, and not who we are. And we expect every single person on the show. But Barbara Young, she didn't hesitate. She said, I can share a word. I'm there for you. So Dr. Barbara Young, let me again say thank you. I'll turn it over to you. For those out there, I'm going to encourage you, go over to www.drbarbaryoung.com. Head on over there right now. Connect with her. Stay in the conversation. Also, she's available for podcasts. She's available for virtual. She's able to Zoom. You see, she knows what she's doing. She used to be in the studio now. Get that out. Even at this time now, I don't know where you are in the world. For some of you, you're just waking up. Welcome. And others of you, you're just getting lunch. So thank you. Over to you, Dr. Barbara Young.
Thank you. So these are some of my tips. You're never too old to dream. As long as you're alive, you can dream. God never drops you in your life and says, here they are. You have to for them, you have to work. You have to push through. For the entrepreneurs out there, you got to sweat, strain, and do things that you thought you would never, ever do. Opposition is always there when you try something. And the people that will criticize you say it will not work. You fool to try this. There are better days coming for you. Watch out for dream stealers and dream killers. You can't tell everybody you do. I learned that one the hard way. Dr. Young did be out. Sometimes new territory, you at something new. But to be ready for failure. Sometimes I said, well, Dr. Young, my question, swing that back. You failed at something. What did you do? You made a mistake. You overlooked something. But be ready for failure and again. You know, there's a giant laziness out there. A lot of people, they never realize their potential because they're too lazy to expend the effort to get where God wants to be. It's just easier to sit back, watch television, and be content with the way things are now. I'm not sure people are that content, but they're sitting back and they're not taking note of some of the issues that are facing us. Instead of let somebody else see. Do something with your life this year. This half mark. Still have time. Dream and do something, even if it's a small thing. Helping a neighbor, helping a child, volunteer to do something not working. And I believe with all my heart, this we're going to get through it. So have faith, keep your hope alive. I remember somebody said that. This is Dr. B, and I'm signing off. And thank you for tuning in to the show. Brown, you are marvelous. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Certainly appreciate it. For all of you watching out there right now, I want you to know you've been listening to the one and only Dr. Barbara Young. I want you to know that you're amazing. You're incredible. Every single week, you got great inside of you, and that today is your January 1st. You will transform your life. Today is your January 1st. You will have the rituals and the routine to achieve what you want in your life. For you, the best is yet to come because you can dream no matter your age, no matter where you are, you can continue to dream. With that being said, my name, for those folks who know who's doing all that yelling and screaming, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, a happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. Connect again. Remember, time is long. Life is short. Live in the moment and make it count. God bless, and I wish you success. Thanks a lot, Doc. You rock.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. It's always a pleasure. I made to my mom only for one person, and that's mom. This is your mom. Love you. The happy entrepreneur. Get a great day, one. Thank you.
Yeah. And they say that